we welcome you. We welcome all those who are here of many different traditions, people who are perhaps some folks who are celebrating holidays around this time of year, some who may not be, all of us who come here with a mixture of emotions and experiences as human beings in this fraught time in our world. All of us, we were talking a little earlier, who are holding so much. We're holding it all. And there are many different ways of holding all those feelings, all those experiences, of navigating the world, and holding each other in the process, supporting one another in community of people, again, from many different traditions, with some similarities and some differences, but who are unified in a search for meaning and understanding and peace and greater love for one another. So thank you again for being here. My name is Molly Hicks. My pronouns are she, her, and I live in Philadelphia on Lenape land. I'm a Quaker and a member of Old Haverford Friends meeting outside of Philadelphia, and I'm a board member of Alignment. We have a few offerings from others tonight, but if you are spontaneously moved to share a prayer with us in the chat or out loud, please feel free to do so. If you share something in the chat and don't wish to speak, I can read it out loud for you, but I won't offer any attribution. I'll just read what you write, but please feel free to raise your hand or indicate in the chat if you'd like to share something out loud. I'm going to start with a poem and a song medley this evening, or today, wherever you are in the world. This is from a devotional from the Advent season. It's by a group called A Sanctified Art. And my mom introduced this to me. And I opened it up, and the first poem really spoke to me. So I'm actually going to share it on the screen. The heading says, "How does a weary world rejoice?" For some people in some traditions, this is a time of light and joy and hope, and yet we look around and we don't always feel that or sense that around us. I think this poem captures the need for us to mourn together in the wake of war and conflict and genocide, in the wake of anything that we're going through that precludes peace from making itself known, or where we don't feel peaceful in our lives. It's called Wade In by Reverend Sarah R.A. Speed. Over time, wind and water will sand down the edges of a stone. For humans, our wind and water is the grief of the world. Stay here long enough and pieces of you will be pressed upon by life's never-ending stream. It's enough to make you weary. It's enough to make you question. It's enough to make you quiet. And yet the stream continues. So do not be afraid to stand in that water. Wade in, soak the hem of your jeans. Drip wet footprints through every room in your house. Let the water stains tell your story. And when your body grows weary of swimming, name the stream. Acknowledge your weariness, for eventually you will pick flowers from the opposite bank. And over again, we'll tell this story. and over again, a weary world will rejoice. So whether you're in a space of grief, a space of rejoicing, a space that allows both to exist, I encourage you to let whatever you're feeling be in this moment and know that you're in good company with the others who are here. The song I'm going to share paired with this poem is called "We Let It Be" by Ricky Byers. And I'm going to incorporate a song with a similar title, just a little snippet of it later on. Whatever you are feeling, let it be. You can also feel free to share in the chat throughout this time together tonight. We welcome wherever you are, whatever you're experiencing.
Stop to wonder what the world is coming to. They let something higher reveal the way to greater love. So the truth is telling me to sing of liberation for the ones who are not free. Love can take us higher. Reveal the way to greater love. So we let it wash over us. We let it make us kinder. We let it lift us higher. We let it be. We let it early in the morning. We let it hold us together. We let it wash over us. We let
Thank you, Molly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's nice to hear those two songs together. Um, my name is Barbara Chaapel. I'm not quite sure how to, can you all see me? I'm not sure I'm highlighted. I am also, like Molly, a member of the board of Alignment. I live in suburban Philadelphia and am a retired Presbyterian minister. So my faith tradition is the Christian tradition. And we are in Christmas tide right now, which is the 12-day period that begins with Christmas Day on the 25th of December and continues until the day of Epiphany, the 6th of January. I have always felt sad that many in my faith only celebrate the coming of the light through Jesus Christ on one day, the 25th. Our holiday is really 12 days, the tide of Christmas. And in thinking about Christmas this year, I remember what I know a lot of you know about, which is the Christmas truce that took place 5 months after the beginning of the First World War in Europe. Um, it was in 1914. It ceasefires began all along the Western Front about a week or so before Christmas Day. And by the time of Christmas itself, French, German, and British soldiers were laying down their arms in a truce and beginning to exchange greetings, come out of the trenches where they were fighting, and to talk with one another, to exchange greetings, in some cases, to exchange gifts, in some cases, to sing together, and to exchange food with each other, and even to venture into what was called no man's land between the fighting forces and to bury the dead soldiers of both sides that were lying there and had not been buried because of the hostilities. So for 2 days, the 25th and the 26th, purportedly, there was no gunfire, no fighting, and instead this truce between these young, very young, in most cases, men. So I've been thinking about that and realizing and hoping that such moments or days of truce and of peace and of reaching across the awful barriers that exist in war have happened this year as well. So I want to read and share with you a poem called The Christmas Truce, written by a woman named Carol Ann Duffy, who is an English woman. She wrote this poem in 2011 to celebrate Armistice Day. And I'll read it to you. Christmas Eve in the trenches of France, the guns were quiet. The dead lay still in no man's land. Freddie, Franz, Friedrich, Frank. The moon, like a medal, hung in the clear, cold sky. Silver frost on barbed wire, strange tinsel, sparkled and winked. A boy from Stroud stared at a star to meet his mother's eyesight there. An owl swooped on a rat on the glove of a corpse. In a copse of trees behind the lines, a lone bird sang. A soldier poet noted it down, a robin holding his winter ground. Then silence spread and touched each man like a hand. Somebody kissed the gold of his ring, a few lit pipes, most in their greatcoats, huddled, waiting for sleep. The liquid mud had hardened at last in the freeze. But it was Christmas Eve. Believe. Belief thrilled the night air, where glittering rhyme on unburied suns treasured their stiff hair. The sharp, clean midwinter smell held memory. On watch, a rifleman scoured the terrain, no sign of life, no shadows, no shots from snipers, naught to note or report. The frozen foreign fields were acres of pain. Then flickering flames from the other side danced in his eyes as Christmas trees in their dozens shone, candlelit on the parapets. And they started to sing all down the German lines. Men who would drown in mud, be gassed or shot or vaporized by falling shells, or live to tell, heard for the first time then, Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht, alles schläft, einsam wacht. The song was a sudden bridge from man to man, a gift to the heart from home or childhood, someplace shared. When it was done, the British soldiers cheered. A Scotsman started to bawl the first Noel, and all joined in, till the Germans stood, seeing across the divide the sprawled mute shapes of those who had died. All night along the Western Front they sang. The enemies. Carols, hymns, folk songs, anthems, in German, English, French. Each battalion choired in its grim trench. So Christmas dawned, wrapped in mist, to open itself and offer the day like a gift for Harry, Hugo, Hermann, Henry, Heinz. With whistles, waves, cheers, shouts, laughs. Frohe Weihnachten, Tommy. Merry Christmas, Fritz. A young Berliner brandishing schnapps was the first from his ditch to climb out. A Shropshire lad ran at him like a rhyme. Then it was up and over every man to shake the hand of a foe as a friend, or slap his back like a brother would, exchanging gifts of biscuits, tea, McConaughey stew, tickler's jam, for cognac, sausages, cigars, beer, and sauerkraut. Or chase 6 hares who jumped from a cabbage patch, or find a ball and make a battleground a football pitch. I showed him a picture of my wife. Ich zeigte ihm in Foto meiner Frau. Sie sei schön, sagte er. He thought her beautiful, he said. They buried the dead then, hacked spades into hard earth again and again, till a score of men were at rest, identified, blessed. Der Herr ist mein Hirt, my shepherd, I shall not want. And all that marvelous festive day and night they came and went, the officers, the rank and file, their fallen comrades, side by side, beneath the makeshift crosses of midnight graves, beneath the shivering shy stars and the pinned moon, and the yawn of history. The high, bright bullets, which each man only aimed at the sky.
Thank you so much, Barbara. It's stunning what is possible when we offer peace to one another. And that truce represents some of the most extreme conditions where offering the gifts of things to eat, tea to drink, songs to share with one another seems so unlikely, and yet that happened. That was able to come to pass. You've inspired me to share the song My Peace by Arlo Guthrie. The lyrics say, my peace is all I've got that I can give to you. My peace is all I've ever had. It's all I ever knew. Some of you may know this song. We really do have the capability of offering our peace to one another at any time, however unlikely it may seem.
My peace is all I've got that I can give to you. My peace is all I've ever had. It's all I ever knew. I give my peace to green and black, to red and white and blue. My peace is all I've got that I can give to you. My peace is all I've got. It's all I've ever known. My peace is worth 1,000 times more than anything I own. I pass my peace around and around, cross hands of every hue. My peace is all I've got that I can give to you. Oh, my peace is all I've got. It's all I've ever known. My peace is worth 1,000 times more than anything I own. I pass my peace around and around, cross hands of every hue. My peace is all I've got that I can give to you. Yes, I pass my peace
I'd like to invite Carol to share a prayer with us next.
As a Baha'i, we believe that someday the most grace peace will come, but we also know that it will not come in our lifetime. So we need to work, the purpose of religion, to work for the purpose of religion, which is the unity of all mankind. This is a prayer written by Abdul Baha, and it's for all of those who are working for peace around the world. No matter what they're doing, each little thing works. Each thing gets better. We just need to know that it will come, maybe not in our lifetime, but it will come because it is God's will. O God, my God, thou seest me plunged in an ocean of anguish, held fast to the fires of tyranny, and weeping in the darkness of the night. Sleepless, I toss and turn upon my bed, mine eyes straining to behold the morning light of faithfulness and trust. I agonize even as a fish its inward parts afire as it leapeth about in terror upon the sand. Yet I ever look for thy bestowals to appear from every side. O God, my God, make thou the believers in other lands to partake of thine abounding grace. Deliver thou by thine unfailing help and bounty. Whoso amongst thy loved ones in the farthermost climes sigheth over the bitter cruelty of his foe. O Lord, they are the captives of thy love, the prisoners taken by thy troops. They are the birds that fly in the heavens of the guidance of the whales that swim in the ocean of thy bestowals, the stars that sparkle on the horizons of thy gifts. They are the defenders of the fortress of thy law. They are the banners of the remembrance amongst men. They are the deep wells of thy divine compassion, the fountains of thy favors, the wellsprings of thy grace. Keep them ever in safety beneath thine all-protecting eye. Assist them to exalt thy word. Make thy hearts to be constant in thy love. Strengthen thou their backs that they may serve thee well. In servitude, strengthen thou their powers. Spread thou through them thy sweet savors far and wide. Expound through them the holy writ. Make known through them thine utterance. Fulfill through them thy words. Through them pour out thy mercy. Thou art verily the mighty, the powerful. Thou art verily the clement, the compassionate. And sometimes we don't think this is working, but I have a story for you. I have a friend who was raised in Iran, and she talks about how she was treated in school as a Baha'i child. And the people in her class, the children and the teachers, would make fun and do all sorts of things because she was Baha'i. And they were taught to accept everything and to never get angry and to get. Her cousin just called her from Iran. Her daughter is in school now in Iran. The same thing started happening to her. The teachers started making fun and making remarks. But the children of Iran spoke up and told their teacher that that was against the teachings that they were taught. And this should not happen. And they protected her. So it's changing little by little. All we have to do is keep our faith and work as we can.
Thank you, Carol, for that beautiful prayer and hopeful story. The imagery of protection and of nature in the prayer was really striking. And as Margaret put in the chat, we weave together a beautiful fabric from the riches of all of our different traditions. And we do believe that the even small progresses that we see in the world and the examples we can share are powerful and help weave together that blanket. I'm going to share a poem by Naomi Shihab Nye. I love her poetry, and I wanted to share one tonight, but I wasn't sure which one. I stumbled on this one in a collection of her poems on sorrow and grief, and I'm going to share it on the screen. This is called Making a Fist, and it's not making a fist in the sense of preparing to fight, but I was touched by the idea that making a fist is both could be a sign of preparing to defend oneself, or it could be a sign, as it is in this poem, of vitality, of being able to have the strength to hold one's fingers together. So I'll read it to you now. Making a Fist by Naomi Shihab Nye. We forget that we are all dead men conversing with dead men. Jorge Luis Borges. For the first time on the road north of Tampico, I felt the life sliding out of me. A drum in the desert, harder and harder to hear. I was 7. I lay in the car watching palm trees swirl, a sickening pattern past the glass. My stomach was a melon split wide inside my skin. How do you know if you were going to die? I begged my mother. We had been traveling for days. With strange confidence, she answered, when you can no longer make a fist. Years later, I smile to think of that journey. The borders we must cross separately, stamped with our unanswerable woes. I who did not die, who am still living, still lying in the back seat behind all my questions, clenching and opening one small hand. So how do we sit with those questions, those unanswerable questions? How do we check for our vitality by making that fist and then opening up that hand again to reach out to another person? I'd like to offer a song that we can all collaborate on. As this is something that I do in a monthly interfaith music gathering with Rabbi Shelley Barnathan. We typically end with a song where people can put their ideas for lyrics in the chat. This song is, and I incorporate them in real time. The song is called We Have More Work to Do. And it kind of goes back to what we started with, the idea of being able to hold different experiences and emotions, which is a theme that I constantly come back to in my life and my work. And so my question to you, if you'd like to add something into the chat for me to put in the song, the question, the prompt is, what is the work of peace that you are doing or can start to do? It could be something simple, like smiling at a stranger. It could be something that's a little bit more labor intensive or time consuming, or involves activism or prayer, or meeting with others across lines of differences, having difficult conversations. But whatever it is, if you would like to, you can put it in the chat. What is the work of peace that you are doing or would like to do? And I see some lovely offerings coming in already. The only pause that may happen is for me to scroll in the chat to make sure that I get all the offerings.
There is so much to grieve, there is so much to celebrate, there is so much to learn, there is so much to resist, there is so much to grieve, there is so much to celebrate, there is so much to learn, there is so much to resist. Oh, even after all that we've been through, even after all that we know, even after all of the heartache, we still have a long way to go. We have more work to do, we have more work to do. We can do the work of greeting strangers, we can do the work of listening openly, we can practice kindness with everyone, no exception. We can make a home for peace in our hearts. We can do the work of authentic listening. We can open our hearts to compassion for those who don't want to receive us when our views differ. Practicing kindness all the time, no exceptions. We can do the work of attending to those who are outcast, of treating everyone equally, of sharing what has meaning for me with others, by being kind to children and helping them learn kindness, by softening and opening our hearts over and over and over, by planting seeds in the spring, by practicing kindness everywhere to every person and being. We can do the work of peace by sharing songs and poems that touch the heart and soul, by picking up trash, by trying to build a bridge to those who think, believe, or feel differently, by connecting with friends, especially those who don't have family close by. I have friends who have been displaced due to war. By taking a regular walk and being careful not to fall, holding them, by holding them in all ways. This is the work of peace. This is the work of peace. Even after all that we've been through, and even after all that we know, and even after all of the heartache, oh, we still have a long way to go. We have more work to do. We have more work to do. Yes, we will make it through, but we have more work to do. We have more work to do. We have more work to do, and we will make it through, but we have more work to do.
Thank you all for your beautiful contributions. This is truly a group of people who are doing wonderful work in the world. I have, just before we end, my mom is here, Mary Ann, and she wants to share a poem to close. Go ahead, Mom.
Hi, this is a poem called "The Bravest Thing We Can Do," and it's by Reverend Sarah Speed. And it's just, well, you'll get the idea. Trust your belovedness. Let it be a protest, an act of resistance, a song of celebration. Trust your belovedness in a world that is rarely satisfied. Wear it like a badge of honor. Speak it as confidently as your last name. Tattoo it to your heart. When outside forces chip away at your sense of self, when life asks you to hand over the keys, remember the water. Remember creation. Remember how it was good, so very good. Let that truth hum through your veins. Sing it so loud that it drowns out the weariness of the world. For the bravest thing we can ever do is trust that we belong here.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful closing set of words, ideas, images for our time together. We've been blessed by the presence of each and every one of you here today, wishing you peace in your lives and making you continue to do this important work in the world, starting at home. Be well, everyone.